Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Four Train Podcast. And now we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. And the guy I actually know personally, Brian Cashman. And why we're talking about him? Because the question is Brian Cashman waiting out the free agency? Considering that, we're going to dive into this topic right now. And one of the things I find very interesting of Brian Cashman is the fact that obviously the first round of free agency went out. You know, the Yankees didn't do anything signing. People were expecting the Yankees to sign Corey Seager. And right before the MLB lockout, Corey Seager signs with the Texas Ranger. Obviously, we see Max Scherzer going to Queens, and he's going to be the number 2 guy behind DeGrom. We've seen, obviously, Simeon also go to the Ranger. We've seen some big moves happening before, and the Yankees haven't done anything outstanding. Now we're into the MLB lockout. Obviously, now we're basically 3 weeks in. We haven't heard anything, any agreement coming out of the player unions or the owners. But now here's the question. You know, before, one of the cool things I've noticed, and actually doing a little research and digging in, before the lockout happened, one of the things I can say gladly is that Brian Cashman was in talk with Anthony Rizzo's agent. So right there, we can see without a shadow of a doubt, that is something that is happening there. We can see that obviously I don't know if this means that Luke Voigt, we're going to trade him and get somebody, or we're going to end up walking Rizzo, but I don't know. But the thing is, we know that was in the talks, and we already heard about that. We also heard about Matt Olson. We know the Yankees are interested in trading him, but obviously the Oakland A's have a high bargain. So that may be a key factor that the Yankees may pass on him this until he becomes a free agent. We don't know. We just don't know, but we know that has been talked about. And obviously Carlos Carrera has been someone that has been mentioned coming to the Bronx. We understand that we've seen a tweet or something that's saying that Carlos Carrera has been in talk. We also seen the posts on Instagram and Twitter and his Facebook where they talk about how basically the front runners are the Chicago Cubs and the New York Yankees for Carlos Carrera. Now, one of the cool things I want to say, while Carlos Carrera is the hottest free agent coming out of this past season into this offseason, that is with no question still the hottest thing out there. But we got to also remember there's more than 300 plus players that are in free agency as well. Obviously, the Yankees can still sign them into minor league deals. And then because minor league deals and negotiations still can happen during the lockout, that is not affected. But we also have to take into consideration that maybe Cashman is waiting to what comes out. One of the things obviously has been discussed is about players' salaries. We're seeing the 10 years, the $300 million deal. Obviously, Garrett Cole got his. I wouldn't be surprised Carlos Carrera is looking for something like that, considering that Corey Seager got a deal. So obviously, he's going to probably ask for a little bit more. So here's the key thing. Maybe this is my wild guess. All right? This is my wild guess. I can't say this is true. This is going to happen. But maybe because obviously the Yankees have one of the highest payrolls, they basically can't go past their salary because of obviously the luxury tax standard. But one of the things the owners and the player unions are discussing in this lockout is that luxury tax. If obviously they raise the luxury tax, obviously, you know, I remember the commissioner saying that that's going to help us teams in small markets. But if they do raise it, and a team like the New York Yankees, one of the top markets in all of baseball, is going to give them open the door to go after Carlos Carrera. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They 100% have the door open for them to go after Carlos Carrera. That's it. There's no excuse no more. Obviously, that also opens the door for Judge being getting his extension. This opens the door for maybe other people we just thought the Yankees weren't going to pursue, now have the flexibility to go after them and build a solid roster to make us go to the World Series. Because right now, if I'm Brian Cashman, and sure, on a personal note, I know the mechanic that he goes to, so I can run into him at any moment. But if I'm Brian Cashman, my trend of thought 100% is going to be what I can do to make this a World Series team. Because sadly, this is just a winning season team and a playoff team. This is not a World Series caliber team. If you really think that the product we put last year on the field was enough to win a World Series, I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. It's not. So Cashman is now in that position. He has to figure out what works best, obviously with the salary caps that we have currently, but also what's going to be the best fit, because we need first base, we need a shortstop, we're going to need someone to go after Cole, who's going to be our second in line in the bullpen. Obviously, Cashman has hinted that we already got center field, which makes it seem like he's very high and positive of Aaron Hicks, but especially with the injury now that he's just currently had, he's very injury prone. So I don't find that too exciting. So center field is still another area we have to discuss. So we're going to have these tough conversations, but obviously what maybe Cashman is waiting for the lockout to end, and then he say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to work on. So we're going to have to find out what are the turn of events, especially coming out. But my guess is he's waiting to hear what is going to be the salary caps, what are going to be the luxury tax. Wants to know what is going to be that logistical side of it. And then once he does, I wouldn't be surprised Cashman coming in hot the day after the lockout ends and start signing players to come play in the Bronx. I'm not surprised. I'm telling you guys right now, just be ready for that. So I'm going to kick this over to Anzo. Anzo, let me know what you think. You think Cashman is waiting, or he has something else in mind? Let me know.
Thank you, Israel. For sure, I feel like Brian Cashman is definitely waiting for the lockout to be over. Once the lockout is over, I feel like a lot of teams are actually going to make huge moves. You got the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and many other big franchises that haven't made a move. So I don't think Brian Cashman is crazy or anything like that. I think he's actually just going to play it smart like these other big market teams. And then once they know the budget and everything like that, they are going to make huge moves. One of those moves, I think it's going to be Carlos Correa, and I think it could be another big free agent name. So I'm excited for the lockout to end and for them to come out with all the rules and possibly the NL having a DH and all that. So let's see what actually ends up happening. I'm excited for it, and I'm sure Brian Cashman will know what to do. If he doesn't do anything, I will be the first to say he should be fired. So back to you, Israel.
All right, Anzo. Thank you so much for your information. And guys, let me remind you, Anzo does have his own channel where he has done his top picks for free agency that the Yankees should sign. You know, even talked about Chris Bryant. He talks about a lot of things on that channel. So don't be afraid to subscribe to this video here on the 4 Train Podcast, but also check out Anzo's channel. You might like some of the context. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us once again here on the 4 Train Podcast. And let us know, do you guys think Cashman is waiting out to find out what's going to happen in free agency? So thank you so much. Take care. See you guys soon. See ya.